Good morning, HazMat class. Welcome to week 2 of your COVID-19 assignments. I hope you guys are getting this together, that this is making some sense, and that you can understand that while this might not be the best method, it is really the safest method at this point for us to do this via recorded messages and whatnot. We only have a few more weeks of the semester of actual coursework because remember, we were at spring break previously. We had some work this past week. We have a work this week. Then we're going to have another couple days off for breaks and that sort of stuff. And then finals is the last week of April, that sort of stuff. So we're doing what we can. I honestly think, and I am just busting my butt trying to give you guys as a quality sort of discussion as I can. Again, I'm a more traditional professor. So while this isn't hard for me necessarily, because I do teach online occasionally, I understand that some of you might be having some issues with this. So bear with me. This video is going to be pretty quick today. It's just going to be, really I'm just discussing some of what I see as the main points of our chapter here of information management and resource coordination. So what I'm basically doing is just walking you through the chief concepts. And the chief concepts are listed in the back of your book, but I want to just discuss them, right? So the first is failure to get the right information to the right people at the right time can jeopardize both the safety of responders and overall success of the emergency response effort. So when we're talking about information management, it is vital. In fact, it saves lives if we can make sure that the right people get the right information at the right time. If I'm a responder and I'm waiting to respond to this thing and I don't have an idea what it is, I really can't effectively protect myself and protect the community and protect the people who are potentially in danger because I don't have the information that I need to do my job, right? So this is the most vital piece. The way other agencies and public perceive how the incident was handled generally depends on the way the information was managed. And so in addition to that information that's getting to the field, another piece of the information, so you've got this sort of downrange information sharing, but you've also got this sort of backwards where you're trying to share it with stakeholders, you're trying to share it with your boss, the people who sign your checks, you're trying to share it generally with the general community. And if you can do this well, it could possibly save as many lives as the sort of the downrange where I'm telling the responder on the scene what it is he or she should be doing. A well-crafted sort of information plan also makes sure the rest of the community is up to date on what it is, what they should be doing, there's safety steps they need to be taking, so on and so forth. Information and resources must be managed within the framework of the incident command system. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse sometimes. You hear this NIMS and ICS all the time, but what we're trying to do and what I'm trying to do. So when you get out of here, when you graduate and you hit the ground, I want you to be thinking constantly, how do I plug this into incident command? Because this is where everything is happening. How we deploy resources, how we deploy information, how we gather information, how we gather up resources, all has to fall in line with incident command. Otherwise, you're doing something here and everyone else is doing something completely different, right? Incident command allows all of this to sort of work together for a common move forward. The key to successfully managing and retrieving HazMat information under emergency conditions is good organization and simplicity. If it doesn't work on the street, it's useless. So basically, we're not trying to figure out some massive, complex system to share information. It could be, just look at the placarding system and the numbering system for chemicals. It's very simple, right? It's generally got some numbers attached to it, a color, a shape, a picture. It's as simple as they can make it. And then you got your ERG, your emergency response guide. You pick it up, you open it up, and you figure out what it is you're doing. If it's any more complex than that, it's too complex, and you need to. I don't want to say dumb it down, but you do have to reel it in a little bit. And so, I would imagine you need to be communicating in a junior high level sort of area, because remember, it's not just the responder in the field, but it's also the 90-year-old lady who's sitting watching this on TV. She needs to understand it as well. Information systems must be user-friendly and durable. If it's hard, if people can't figure it out, it's worthless. Coordinated information in the field becomes particularly important as the incident commander, HazMat group supervisor, and others evaluate options concerning protective clothing, decon requirements, and public protective actions. If you don't know what it is you're dealing with, and I mean really know, not, hey, that's a tanker truck, so it's got to have some liquid in it, so we have a rough idea. I mean, you have to know exactly what it is, because that's going to determine the decisions the incident commander is making, that the HazMat group's making, anyone else who's sort of involved in the evaluation piece of this, that's looking at this, trying to determine how we respond. Coordinated information is a dynamic process that must adjust its scale over time to provide the correct and credible information to the right people at the right time. The larger, more complex the incident, the larger the command organization needed to manage the incident must be, right? The larger the command organization, the more need there is for formal structure to manage data and information flow, right? There is a high likelihood, as things get larger and larger and larger, that you're going to lose some of the sort of person-to-person communication that happens in a smaller incident. The checklist system is one of the most effective tools for ensuring that information and resources are effectively coordinated. Again, we're making this as easy as we can while still being effective, right? And the checklist system, which it talks about ad nauseum in your text, it does that simply. Extended incidents or incidents involving multiple chemicals may require that information and resources are effectively coordinated both internally and externally. So if you've got a lot of stuff going on, it just makes sense that you're going to have a larger amount. Your communication plan is going to be more robust. You're going to have more people who are wanting to know what's going on and more people who need to know what's happening. Resources, this is important to remember. Resources are the people, equipment, and supplies required to manage a hazardous material emergency. Right? Within the command structure, the logistic branch is typically organized into two subgroups that include a resource branch and a support branch. I'm not going to get into this too much. This is ICS 300, ICS 400 type stuff. But you need to understand that this is a large enough responsibility that typically you're going to have subgroups sort of built out in the system. Good logistics section chief doesn't wait until the operations section chief needs a resource. They're going to anticipate what the need will be, and then arrange the resources to go to the staging area or support base. What this is just good incident command, good communication that's happening internally within the I would caution that the operations section chief and the logistics chief need to be in a constant conversation, because the ops chief might have a better grasp of what's going on, and so that needs to be shared. But again, this is what ICS is built for, is the sharing of information. And finally, coordinating resource requirements within the internal structure of the emergency response organization can be an easy process if your organization understands and regularly operates within the requirements of NIMS. So basically, this is kind of a commercial for NIMS, in that ICS is the way we need to take this, but NIMS allows a structure to be in place that lets us do this safely, effectively, and efficiently, saving lives, saving property, and stabilizing incidents. So that's my conversation on this. There's going to be other assignments, but I would ask you to listen to this, read your text, read the additional documents I put on there, and enjoy your class. Thanks.